All right, conditioning day A, B, and C alternates for the muscle phase. So muscle phase has zero cardio in any of the sessions, which is on purpose because we really want to hit those muscles hard. Secondly, it kind of leads us to having a lot of options, a lot of variability for the optional day A, B, and C alternate sessions. So those day A, B, and C's can be done any day of the week, basically, in your A, B, and C blocks. And there's going to be about 5 options because it's basically based off of bikes. Okay. So I'm going to go over each day. So this will be the video for all 3 sessions. Day A inside the muscle program is going to be pods. So you're already going to be on a timer that's going to be pretty tight. And that's going to be a, you call it implement. You're going to be working on the same clock as session. So session will warm up. I suggest warming up with session. And then you will then work when they're working, rest when they're resting. This is going to be super, super, super tight. So it's going to be a one-to-one work rest. Being that it's a one-to-one, we want to be aerobic in our bouts. So it's going to be at least 30 seconds of work every week. You're going to want to pick an implement that you can maintain a good amount of like low intensity. I am wearing a MyZone belt right now. So if you see my name up on the tile, right, that's just me hanging out. It's this little white box. There's some over there on the shelf. We got a whole bunch of them. These are $60. We can put them on the account, and we can help you set it up. It's really simple. You just download the MyZone app. It works off of Bluetooth. You can use it anywhere in or outside the gym. So for homework or doing whatever you want to do. We're a firm believer in heart rate-based conditioning because it's individualized, and it's also nice to see it up on the tile on the TV or on your phone. So it's not required. You can use a Whoop or maybe even an Apple Watch if you want to use that for your kind of your zones and your heart rate. So saying that, if we get under this 30 plus clock, whenever I use the bike, if I use the sled, if I use the ski erg here in the back, right? And using the ski erg is real basic. You just stand, you grab the Shrek ears, you put yourself in a good deadlift position, and you hinge and bend your knees and straighten your arms. That's all it is. Okay? I can use slams or I can use kettlebell swing. What I want to be doing is I want to be working at a 7 out of 10 intensity while they work, and then I rest. Now, my work's going to be fast, so it's going to be like 30 on, 30 on, 30 on, 30 off for like 4 or 5 sets in a row, so that's like 2 or 3 minutes. The thing is, I want to be able to maintain that 70% effort or that kind of like blue-green, maybe a little bit of yellow tile, so the zone 2, zone 3, for out all sets of 30 seconds. Ideally, I never want to get into the red with that cardio, right? And then when session rests, I'm going to rest, right? So that means I can be half kneeling, TV watching positions or resets. I don't want to be in a seated position, right? I can stand, I can half kneel, I can stretch, I can dead hang, and then I'll get right back into my bouts again. You can pick one implement per round, which I think is the most simplest way to do it, right? So if I say, all right, I'm going to do the bike for all 4 beeps. I'm going to do the ski erg for all 4 beeps. I'm going to do slams for all 4 beeps. But if you want to, you can go back and forth between the two, right? And that's going to be day A. Day B is we're going to have intervals paired with steady state. So this is kind of an advanced way of thinking about conditioning heart rate based that's allows for a long session of conditioning, but not a super intense long session. So think about this as like smart hit plus good heart health. Okay. So if I use my MyZone, which I think is a really great tool, or a heart rate based thing, I want to go from intervals, right? I'm going to set a 20-minute clock, and I'm going to go back and forth between a high work and a low rest. So I want to work up to 80%. Or hit the orange tile, or I want to hit 80% max heart rate. As soon as I hit 80%, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to wait for my heart rate to get all the way down to 65%, okay? Or the ability to have a full conversation before I go again. those periods of work and rest are going to be different every single time, and they're going to be different per person, and be different per implement. So using a heart rate monitor or using the talk test is a great way to make it individualized. I'm going to do intervals for 20 minutes. And I can do the intervals, swing, slam, ski, or bike. Okay? And I want to be working until I hit that mark. I'm going to stop. I'm going to do nothing until I hit 65%. Depending on my conditioning, I might get 3 intervals or I might get 7 intervals. It doesn't really matter. I just want to work intervals for 20 minutes. Then I want to go to the bike and I want to do a steady state cardio for as long as I can maintain. Ideally, right, the next 40 minutes. So that's my 60-minute block. Okay? So I do 20 minutes intervals and I do at least 20 to 40 minutes of steady state cardio. So I'm going to get on the bike and I'm going to maintain a good pace, right? You can use the little like the meter over here to like show me how fast I'm going. I want to hit that pace. I want to sit there at that 65% or the ability to have, I can talk in phrases, but I can't easily talk. If I can talk like I'm talking right now in this video, then I'm working too easy. But if I can't speak at all, I'm working too hard, or I'm going to be 65% off of my zone. I'm just going to sit there and hold that 65% for as long as I can from that 20 to 40 minute mark. So it's intervals paired with steady state. Okay? And then the last one for day C is going to be our step up workout and our adventure prep. So you can either use a backpack, right? And you can put stuff in it, or you can grab kettlebells, or you can put a med ball or a slam ball on your shoulder. It doesn't really matter how you want to hold that implement. And you want to use one of these lower boxes, basically something that's about halfway to 3/4 shin height. And what you're going to do is you want to have a timer on your phone. You want 4 minutes of work, 2 minutes of rest. And I'm just basically having a continuous step for that 4 minutes, right? So as soon as my feet come together, they go apart, okay? Doesn't really matter the pace or the left rights. It doesn't matter. I just want 4 solid minutes of good work. Again, ideally staying out of orange or red heart rate, right? Staying out of the inability to speak. I don't want to get there. And then I want to rest for that 2 minutes and then go again. I will get the most benefit out of this step-up workout if I can hang out in the green zone or zone 3 for the 4 minutes, and then I can come all the way down to gray, like below zone 2, zone 1, on my rest time, even if that means going to a half kneeling, standing, or going into a full rest of sit before I go back into my step-up. I want to start off with a minimum of 4 rounds. And if I can build up over a week to do more and more and more, I can. But 4 rounds is a good number of box step-ups to get in, right? And that will be the day C conditioning workout. Now, A, B, and C can all be done on your own outside of the studio as well. They can be done in wherever you want to do them. You can do those. Those are great alternatives for your extra homework if you want to get in that 4th, 5th, or 6th session a week. Okay, so you can come into the studio and get them done, or you could do them at home. If you want a check-in, send your up launch, send your CSM person a screenshot of your MyZone or of your heart rate, screenshot of your workout, so they could see, yep, they did intervals and they did steady state. Or they did 4 minutes of work and 2 minutes of rest. I could see that. Cool. Or they did tight intervals and then big rests, tight intervals and big rests. I can see that from A, B, and C. Right? So that is the A, B, and C conditioning workouts, alternates.